Okay, just to come back to Tata Elxsi, which is another group company, has it happened that you guys sort of go and bid for the same order? Have you been competitors in projects?
Yeah, we overlap and compete, but we also collaborate. And so based upon the merits of an opportunity and where we're positioned at different customer situations, we jointly and collectively make a decision.
What's the extent of overlap, the word that you used, between the work that you do and Tata Elxsi does?
Well, when a customer is just looking to outsource software or embedded electronic work, that's where we typically will compete. When we are responsible for a complete vehicle, sometimes we'll augment our capabilities with the capabilities of not just Elxsi, but Tata, TCS and other.
So two questions:
companies.
when a situation happens where you compete for work, I mean, how does that work? I mean, that's basically the best man wins.
It's arm's length competition.
Completely. And when you say you collaborate, this would be sort of you doing work for Tata Elxsi as a subcontractor, or vice versa. I mean.
Typically, we've brought in Tata Elxsi to complement the work that we are responsible for. They've been a capacity play as far as our requirements are confirmed. We've also looked at a unified proposition across the requirements of a different, of a particular customer. A particular customer may require specific depth in one area that Elxsi will have, and we'll complement that with capabilities that we have.
And would you, is there an opportunity to scale up that? I mean, sort of jointly making a pitch for business, etc. Is that does that happen already? Can that happen?
I think one of the things that the group chairman has been very vocal about is synergies within the group. And so we are encouraged to look for synergies where it makes sense for both companies and, more importantly, our customers.
What's the rate of growth we should expect, Warren, that potential investors should expect? What has it been over the last, say, 5-6 years? And steady state on both top line and bottom line, what kind of growth rates?
We've grown our services business by over 20% over the last 4 years, and we're very bullish about our prospects for the future. The group doesn't provide any specific guidance, so I'm not going to position a growth rate expectation for Tata Technologies. But
so
we think we're in a very good...
Last year revenues were about $550 million.
Yes.
So what will that grow at? Will it be faster than before? I mean, just some idea.
Again, I'm not going to provide any guidance in terms of where we expect to be at the end of this fiscal year or beyond. All I will say is that we think we're in a very good market position. We think that the tailwinds that we have because of our position here in India uniquely provides opportunity that will allow Tata Technologies to continue to protect its position as the #1 Indian engineering service provider for the automotive sector, and for us to build that out as we look to extend our capabilities into aerospace and transport, construction and heavy machinery.
And margins, where you are at, which is around 18%, that seems reasonable to expect for you to sort of maintain?
Well, if you look at the margin trajectory over the last 3 years, we've come up from about 16.5% to last year we were at 18.6%, so more than a 200 basis point improvement. We think that there are incremental opportunities to improve margins in and around extending our offshore contribution, investing in optimizing the people pyramid, and driving further improvements in terms of productivity. But I think the improvements in margins are likely to be much more incremental going forward than the type of quantum leap improvement that you've seen in recent years.
Okay. You had negative operating cash flow over the last 6 months or so. Why was that, and what's the future there?
It's just working cash. It's just working capital changes over the course of the last 6 months as we've invested in people and in infrastructure. But if you look at the last 4-5 years, we've converted 90% of our EBITDA into free cash flow. We would expect to continue that trend.
Is attrition a problem for you, Warren? I think attrition rates are pretty high.
I think before COVID we were about 13%. Like everybody else, we were exposed to the Great Resignation after COVID. Attrition spiked up to about 24%. We've seen that come down to 17% in the last quarter. We expect that trajectory to head down to, again, 13-14% over the course of the next 12, 18 months. And one of the things that gives us confidence about that is not only the investments we've made in our employee experience, but also engineers like to work on complex things. And we believe that if you're interested in the automotive industry, if you're interested in the aerospace industry, we are undertaking the type of complexity that is unmatched in the Indian market. And so we think we've got a great proposition to attract the best and brightest in the Indian engineering service.
Okay. Just one last question. I mean, this is the offering which is coming is a purely offer for sale.
Yep.
Why is that? I mean, why isn't there a fresh issue as well? Or you don't need the money?
Well, we've done very well as a company over the last 4 to 5 years. We are debt-free. We have a healthy cash position on our balance sheet. And so we're looking at the IPO as a way of legitimizing the brand and reinforcing the trust between ourselves and our customers and our employees and potential employees in the future. So we don't need the capital to discharge the plans that we've got in terms of our business plan.
Warren, just one more thing. I mean, I remember a few years ago there was a story that Tata Technologies is up for sale. I think there was Warburg Pincus was involved. There were numbers floating around, etc. How do you respond to that? I mean, has there been a big shift in sort of change in terms of the thinking of the group, in terms of what they want to do with the company? What happened then, and what's happened since?
The Tata Technologies has never been up for sale. The group has always been committed to us and we to them. Over the years, we've raised capital from outside of the group. In 2011, 2012, we brought in capital through Tata Capital's private equity funds.
And they're one of the sellers in this.
And they're one of the sellers, but they will continue to be an investor in our company after the IPO. In 2017, we looked at bringing in additional private equity money. We were excited about that opportunity, but it was a minority position that was being taken. And at the end of the day, both parties decided that it didn't make sense, and we walked away. And so, we'll continue to explore opportunities like that going forward. And we remain committed to the group, and the group remains committed to us.
It's a pleasure speaking with you, Warren. Great having you here on CNBC TV18. All the best for the IPO. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much indeed, and thanks for your interest in our company.